Yeah, every last one of them. I will.
In turn, I turn things back to you guys.
Yep.
Oh, shoot.
Do all of you have the recommended motion verbiage?
It's available.
Yeah, I have it on
Okay.
my phone.
Not.
Okay, so we've got, so I'm going to take the last one. I'm going to take the learning model change, but if others of you can grab those other ones, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys do that.
Okay. I'll do the,
Do them all, Jolene.
I'll do the election one.
So what remains then, the staff agreements?
Yep. And then if you want to do the one after the election, and then we can just piggyback back and forth.
Okay.
Oh no, Eric, you have to do the election one.
Huh?
You have to do the election canvassing because you're the clerk, right?
Sure.
Okay. Because it says I clerk. So that's you.
Okay. Jolene,
Yeah.
just point to me.
Okay. You get the first two because it says I clerk.
Mm,
And then if you're going to do nutrition services, then I'll do the mechanical.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We are the Owatonna School Board. This is a special meeting. It's Friday, the 13th of November, 7:15. I'm going to call the meeting to order and turn to Eric for our attendance.
Everybody's present, even our student rep.
Thank you. Joel, please rise. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item this morning would be to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none. All in favor with an aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We have several items that we need to take action on. I'm going to turn it to item A, resolution relating to canvassing of returns of the special election. Mr. Elstad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This is our typical process whenever after we have any elections in regard to school district questions or board seats. And so Sarah Hoffman, who is our district election official, has worked with our Steele County auditor to prepare the actual canvass of the returns and declare those results official.
Any questions for Mr. Elstad? Would one of you be kind enough to introduce this motion?
I move that the board approve the resolution relating to the canvassing results of the special election as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. This doesn't require roll call, does it?
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
Thank you. Eric.
Jolene,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
Lori,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Christina,
Aye.
and I myself is an aye. Pass 7-0.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item B is the resolution canvassing returns of votes for the school district general election. Mr. Elstad, once again.
Yes, this is also a very similar canvassing process, and then again, you have to declare the results of the general election official as prepared by our district election official as well as the Steele County auditor.
Any questions for Mr. Elstad on this? Okay, hearing none, once again, we'll entertain a motion.
I move that the board approve the resolution canvassing returns of votes of school district general election as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is this also roll call?
Yep, all
Roll
these.
call, thanks. They all are?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Jolene,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
Lori,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Christina,
Aye.
and I myself is an aye. 7-0 pass.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item C, ratification of the 2020-2021 agreement with the nutrition services staff.
Yes, we have reached agreement, tentative agreement with the Owatonna Nutrition Services staff. What has been prepared for you is the suggested contract for them for the 2020-2021 year. And Chris Pika is available if any board members have questions this morning.
Any questions? All the information came in your packet.
Just a clarification, Jeff, that's a one-year contract.
That is a
again.
one-year contract. That's exactly right.
No other questions? One of you be kind enough to entertain this motion? Or introduce the motion, I should say.
Go ahead.
I move that the board approve the 2020-2021 agreement with nutrition services staff and authorize the chair and clerk to execute the agreement on behalf of the school board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Eric, if you would please.
Jolene,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
Lori,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Christina,
Aye.
I myself is an aye. 7-0 pass.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item D, bids for the OEC mechanical upgrades.
Yes, these are bids. If you remember back almost a year ago, we let bids for the OEC mechanical upgrades. And at that time, there was only one bidder, and the price was much higher than we anticipated. And so we decided to hold on that project until perhaps the market would bear more competitive and lower bids. And so what you are seeing before you are the bids that were submitted. And I'm actually going to, these meetings, because we're limited in space in our boardroom, are a little bit clunky, so I'm actually going to ask Bob Olson to come into our board meeting so you can ask him questions if you have any this morning. Okay, excuse me for a moment. Pardon the delay. Good morning.
Hi, Bob. Thank you for coming.
Yep. How is everybody?
Good. Thanks, Bob, for coming in this morning. And pardon again the delay, board members. Bob, we presented, and I have to talk just briefly about the rationale as to we delayed our bids previously in the OEC project, and now we're bringing those back because of a more competitive bidding season.
Correct.
So I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, sounds good. We went out last year, as Jeff said, and our bids came in way too high, so we decided to put it off until this year. Went out early in October. Total contract came in at just about 2 million, so 1.99. And last year, so that's saving us about 800,000 from what the bids came in at last year. So and I remember last year we had certain parts of the bids that we had nobody bid because everybody was so darn busy. And this year we had tons of bids, so I'm very happy with what we have. And all of the contractors that have been, were the low bids, have been vetted out and have said that they will honor their contracts. So today, so this morning what we're doing is looking for you to approve these contractors, and we can get the contract signed and we'll get started. It's planning on getting started as soon as the heating season is done with the boilers. But who knows what we're gonna be doing in the schools at that time of the year, we don't know. And if we are not in and we don't look like we're gonna be in, we'll try to move things up and get things rolling so we don't have to push it through really fast in the summertime, so we're looking for it.
And I'll quickly remind board members that this was part of our 2015 bond referendum.
Correct.
That we're now in completion. I believe this is the last leg of that project. Is that
The last
correct?
leg of that, and then in conjunction with this, we are doing some other projects that we didn't get done because of funding, but we are using LTFM, so I'll be coming back with you in about a month for some more of those, but that is correct, Jeff.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
So Bob, the plan is to finish this up next summer, presumably? I mean,
Yes.
it's a summer.
It is,
Project.
as soon as school's done here this spring, get in, do a lot of the piping, do a lot of the HVAC stuff, and be ready to go by the start of next school year.
Oh, would one of you be kind enough to introduce the motion?
I move to approve the contract for the mechanical upgrades for the Owatonna Education Center as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Sarah, is this one? This doesn't need a roll call vote? Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor with an aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And item E is the learning model changes. Thanks, Bob.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, we discussed this at our work session on Monday evening. But as we all know, with the coronavirus, things change by the day. In Steele County, our case numbers have doubled over the past week and look to be on a higher trajectory for the foreseeable future. Just 1 week ago, our county case number was at 36.2 cases per 10,000. The county case rate per 10,000 released yesterday was 41.99, and our projected county case number that will be publicly reported next Thursday is at 67.6 cases per 10,000. In our district, and again, we have shared that multiple data points are going to be used, and that's why I'm referencing our most current data with you this morning. In our district, we currently have 367 students and staff that are either quarantined or in isolation because indeed they have contracted COVID. And with that, we have 21 confirmed cases in our school district that just have come about this week, since Monday. As per our discussion Monday evening, again, we see our trajectory going even higher, and we also see that proactivity of a major holiday that could be a spreading event coming in the next couple of weeks. I would also add to you that our staffing coverage is becoming an emergent piece for us at this point. As of this morning, we have 42 staff that are out, either quarantined or in isolation. We have at least 7 to 10 positions that are going unfilled and covered by teachers on their prep periods every single day, and that's simply not a sustainable model for us. So, it is for these reasons that I recommend the following for our school district moving forward. I recommend that all students in grades 6 through 12 move to distance learning starting on Tuesday, November 17th. This next Monday, November 16th, would be our transition day for our staff to prepare for distance learning to begin on that Tuesday morning. And again, today then would be the last day of in-person or hybrid instruction for our 612 students. It is also my recommendation that our early learning programs, our remaining elementaries that are still in person, Wilson Elementary, Washington, and Lincoln, move to distance learning starting Tuesday, November 24th. Friday, November 20th is an already planned no school day because of our virtual conferences. And then Monday, November 23rd would be a full transition day for our early learning and elementary staff to prepare for their distance learning time. I would add, because again of the aforementioned staffing shortages, and also the priority that Governor Walz has given us to make sure that we are keeping our youngest learners in person as long as possible, that having this delayed shift with elementary will allow us to repurpose staff from both the middle school and the high school to help us cover those staff outages at the elementary leading through next Thursday. This proposed learning model will stay in effect through Friday, December 4th. It would be our honest hope to return our students to their current learning model as of Monday, December 7th. However, in the event that our school and county data do not indicate that it is safe for us to return to our current learning model, we will make that decision by Thursday, December 3rd, and communicate a new plan to our parents that could include a longer distance learning period. It is also my recommendation that all fall activities be allowed to continue through at least next week, concluding on November 21st. This, however, is subject to change and will be evaluated on a daily basis. More so because schools that we may be participating or competing with may no longer be able to offer activities because of an outbreak within their team or their school district deciding to not continue activities. Excuse me. Lastly, the start of winter high school, it is also my recommendation that the start of winter high school activities be delayed until a later date when it is deemed safe for our students, coaches, and advisors to safely return. We will base the date of return of our winter activities on the most current COVID-19 data as shared by the Minnesota Department of Health, Steele County Public Health, and/or other state agencies. I want to make clear to our community that this is not canceling a winter season. This is delaying the start because of the current surge in COVID-19 that we're seeing not only in our city and school district, but across the state. When I make this recommendation for winter activities, I am joining the other Big 9 schools in this effort to stop the spread and mitigation of this virus so that our students may return to winter activities at the soonest date possible that would be safe. Included in that would be that all middle school activities be suspended starting Monday, November 16th until further notice. Mr. Chair and members of the board, all of these decisions have been vetted for the last number of days. The data changes by the day. We recognize that we want to and we will and we continue to believe that we do our best work when our students are present with us. But we also recognize, because of the surge in COVID-19, that we continue to prioritize the safety of our students and staff. And it is for that reason that I make these recommendations to you.
Questions?
So by delaying winter activities, does that mean also practices will be delayed?
That is correct. So all activities, there will be no practice or competitions. And as I mentioned previously, if you look at our schedule of events, everyone that we would be competing against is also making this same decision. So it's to keep our people away from one another for a time so we can get this back under control to where we could safely return.
And one further question. So I emailed you earlier, but was there further discussion on the Tuesday for the elementary school being that's one day of distance learning?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. And actually, I was going to ask Michelle Krell if she could come and join us because she works specifically with our elementary principals regarding your questions. So Michelle, thanks for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. So in regards to your question, one thing that we had a long discussion about, when do we bring in elementary students? One of the things we know is that, they don't have school on Friday because of conferences. Monday is a transition day for teachers. That Tuesday would be an opportunity for us to be able to connect with kids and, number one, ensure that everybody can get online. And then it gives us opportunity then Tuesday and Wednesday. I know our teachers aren't working on Wednesday and our students don't have school, but as a district office, we're still working and our technology department is available. So we'd be able to troubleshoot any issues that we might have in anticipation that we can get a full week of instruction in the following week. And I think that that's imperative. So it won't probably be a like instruction all day long on that Tuesday. It will really be about doing a morning meeting, making sure everybody's connected. Teachers connecting to make sure we have learning spaces available and all this work with students and families. And I think that one thing we also thought is that it might reduce anxiety for families that I know that, I don't have to worry about it from Thursday when we let kids go through Thanksgiving till Monday to make sure that my internet works and my, all of those kinds of things. So we really felt like it was a way for us to reduce anxiety, continue connections, and make it a really connection day. So, and I feel like, we had one day of transition for McKinley families, and then we got right in, and I feel like it went extremely well. So I feel like we want to continue to mirror that kind of a model for students and families.
And Nikki, I would say as a McKinley parent, there was stress and angst with our learner at home because of the anticipated, this is what I thought it's, or this is what I think it's going to be because it's going to be like last spring. The format is different and the structure of the day is very different. And after that first, it's positive, all in a very positive way. And so his angst settled in immediately after that first day because he just knows it's different, it's more interactive. Yeah.
Thank you for that feedback. I was just questioning it just because one day of distance learning right before a holiday, it just seemed like a lot of transition for families.
And I would also add, we always offer the option to families that if for some reason with their family, if they're choosing to not participate on that Tuesday because they're traveling or they're doing something that might be coming about, that they have the ability to contact the school to let them know, and then we make account of that, just like we would on any other day that students would have been in person.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
I don't know, Jeff, if you could just comment, we were speaking briefly about, recognizing that some of our learners just really do not do well when they're distanced for any number of reasons. Can you comment about any kinds of, vision, ideas, things that might be, forthcoming? I realize details aren't probably ready today, but just, I guess, an assurance that we've got more to come in terms of supporting some of those learners.
I will make my introductory comments, and I want to turn it over to Michelle because as our Director of Teaching and Learning, she has really been working. But what I would say is, even based upon the feedback from McKinley parents thus far, we've learned a lot about distance learning and what that looks like. I called last spring emergency learning. This is true distance learning. And Michelle and her team have prepared a whole lot of professional development on how to do this sort of learning. And so I'm not going to steal any of her thunder, but Michelle, would you be able to comment a little bit on Lori's question?
Yeah, and I think, Jeff is exactly right. It was emergency learning. We have really worked since last spring to really level up technology and the supports that we need and what are the apps and the programs and the things that we need, and then really teaching teachers how to use it. What do they need? Like everybody's going to now have another monitor so that they have a laptop and a monitor so they can do a better job of teaching. I feel like, the structure of the day is very clear for parents and for students. And I believe too that it will be easier, like even at our 612, we've been managing 3 different models. Now they're going to manage 1 model as well. So I feel like it's going to be easier for our families. A perfect example is that McKinley, Wednesday was their first day. We only had 7 students absent. I mean, that's probably the best attendance we've probably, ever had. So, I mean, when you think about those kinds of things, but I also know that we're prioritizing. I think what you're also asking me is prioritizing students that are struggling, that do need assistance. Our students that are multilingual learners and our students that maybe receive special education services. According to the executive order, we can choose to do things differently and maybe look at if there are students that need to come in person, we certainly are exploring that. We also recognize the health and safety of our students and staff are our number 1 priority. And so, we are exploring all of the different avenues because we want to ensure that we're connecting with all of our students and making sure that this is successful for them. So we have things in place to help guide us with that. Does that answer your question, Lori?
Yep, thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe I'll just make one comment on activities. Jeff, I just want to commend you for all your, I can't imagine the hours you've been spending these past days and weeks. But it is, I think, encouraging to know that we're with our peers in terms of other districts, that we're all pulling in the same direction. So that's a good.
Yeah, if you remember back last spring, Governor Walz made the order across the state for students to move to distance learning. It has taken a lot of time to examine the data because we have more data. We're smarter now than we were in March about coronavirus. However, we meet constantly with our peers and colleagues from around the area because we want to make sure that we're engaging them in what new ideas they might have. But at this point, we're all seeing a very similar trajectory. and it just is too unsafe for us to continue in this way.
Okay. Hearing no other further comments, the motion that I'm about to make, and based upon all the fluidity that you've heard described that has taken place over the course of the last week, and especially since the time that the motion was originally drawn up and made a part of your board book, I will move then that the board approve the presented shift to distance learning and the recommended delay to activities.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor with an aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Before we adjourn, I would, I'm going to quickly follow up on Lori's thought and observation. Michelle, thank you very much. That, when we were meeting throughout the summer, we really had sort of this sense that we might see that time frame between Thanksgiving and Christmas be, we thought, let's start the school year, let's run as fast as we can, let's get as far as we can, and hopefully we can make it to Thanksgiving. And for all practical purposes, it seems as though that part of it was really pretty successful, but it didn't come without some extraordinary efforts by the part of Michelle, Bob.
Yeah, entire team and our entire staff have been amazing people that change and adjust their instruction, adjust their work every day to make this work.
We as a board realize that, we appreciate that, the community appreciates it, and it's hard for us to even put into words how much appreciation we have for the efforts that you and your staff are going through.
Thank you. I will certainly pass that along to our staff.
Thank you. With that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor with an aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, folks.